Intro, the one who did not move. Out on the Antarctic ice, life follows rules. Penguins move in predictable ways because predictability keeps them alive. Hunger pulls them toward the feeding grounds. Cold pushes them back to the colony, toward warmth and protection. Over time, this rhythm becomes instinctive, automatic. There is no debate, no hesitation. Survival teaches the rules quickly, and those who follow them endure. And then, there is the one who does not move. While all others adjust, step, and drift toward their destinations, he simply stands still. No pacing, no fidgeting, no signs of confusion or injury. Nothing, just stillness. At first it seems ordinary. Animals pause all the time. Perhaps he is resting. Perhaps he is waiting for something unseen. Perhaps it is nothing at all. Pause. But as the minutes stretch, as the colony flows past, as the familiar rhythm of movement swallows everything around him, the stillness becomes impossible to ignore. The crowd moves, paths form, snow shifts beneath countless feet, and yet he remains, unmoved, undeterred. In that stillness, there is an energy that cannot be named. It is not stubbornness. It is not fear. It is the quiet assertion of presence, a choice, though no one yet knows what that choice will be. The air around him is charged with contrast, the predictable motion of the colony and the unnatural calm of one figure, standing alone separate from the rules that govern survival. When he finally steps forward, it is not hesitation resolving. It is a decision, a quiet, unshakable choice emerging after every other option has already left. There is no glance backward, no searching of the terrain, no recalculation. The moment of uncertainty has passed. He does not rush to catch up. He does not turn toward safety, nor toward comfort, nor toward the familiar. He simply moves, each step deliberate, measured, carrying with it the weight of a decision that requires no validation. The ice beneath him does not bend or respond. The wind does not guide him. He moves because, in some fundamental way, motion has become the act of his existence itself. Even from a distance, observers can feel the difference. Movement continues around him, yet he creates a silent space, a bubble of independence within the tide of instinct. It is a small, almost imperceptible divergence, but it grows with each step. The colony's flow continues without him, but he does not falter. In the stillness that preceded action, the choice was already made, and now, motion begins. The direction that makes no sense. The first steps are small, almost invisible against the vast whiteness. Yet with each one, the space between him and the colony grows. At first it seems like a simple divergence, a deviation that might be corrected, a hesitation that will eventually end. But there is no correction here. There is only decision, steady and resolute. He does not drift toward the feeding grounds, where hunger could be satisfied. He does not turn back to the colony, where warmth and protection wait. Instead, he moves inland toward the mountains, distant, silent, unyielding. The horizon stretches, indifferent and empty. There is no promise here, no instinct to guide him, no path that guarantees survival. By every standard, by every measure, the direction makes no sense. And yet, watch him. There is a strange clarity in the way he walks. No searching glance, no faltering step, no sign of uncertainty. The colony continues to move, the noise of life drifting away. Yet he does not rush, does not slow, does not waver. Each step is deliberate, each moment complete in itself. He does not react to the environment. The wind does not push him. The ice does not warn him. He moves because motion itself has become the answer to a question no one has asked. Isolation grows quietly around him. It does not arrive with drama. It does not knock or announce itself. It arrives as the space between him and the rest of the world stretches, slowly, imperceptibly, until the colony is a distant pattern, almost abstract. And yet he does not stop. Step after step, the gap widens. And with that widening comes a truth. Divergence once embraced cannot be undone by proximity or familiarity. The mountains loom faintly on the horizon, cold and unwelcoming. They promise nothing. They do not call. They do not reward. But to him, they are simply a direction, a point in the distance, a continuation of motion. He does not know why he goes, nor does he need to. The act of moving has become both question and answer. And in this quiet divergence, there is a lesson, though it is subtle, almost invisible. Persistence does not require understanding. Motion does not need justification. Sometimes the act itself, simple, deliberate, unshaken, is the only proof that life continues. The ice stretches ahead. Step by step, he advances. And with every step, a small truth becomes visible. Sometimes survival is not about safety. Sometimes progress is not about reward. Sometimes the path that makes no sense is the only path that matters. When correction does not work, observers step in. It is what logic demands. After all, deviation is usually temporary. A return to the colony should restore instinct, hunger, warmth, the rhythm of the group. These cues are powerful. They usually work. They usually guide the lost back to safety. He is picked up, moved, and returned. Calm hands place him among the colony once more. Noise surrounds him. Movement surrounds him. Familiarity presses in on every side. From the outside, it looks like the situation has been resolved. The anomaly should vanish. The rules should reassert themselves. And then, he turns, without hesitation, without struggle, without question. He orients his body in the same direction he chose before, toward the mountains, toward the distance, toward the unknown. Step after deliberate step, he continues. The choice is unchanged. The internal directive persists, unaffected by relocation, unaffected by intervention. This is the moment where persistence becomes undeniable. Most organisms respond to reinforcement. Most beings recalibrate when corrected. Most adapt when the environment insists. And yet, here none of that matters. The colony may reclaim his body. It may not reclaim his path. Motion persists because it is no longer dependent on external factors. It has become internal, self-sustaining, not driven by desire, not driven by hope, not even driven by survival. Step, balance, shift, step. The rhythm is quiet, almost imperceptible, yet absolute. Observers watch. They see what cannot be explained, what cannot be corrected, what cannot be guided. It is unsettling, almost impossible to ignore. The world attempts to impose rules. He ignores them. The environment pushes. He continues. The colony beckons. He moves onward. And in this persistence, there is a lesson. Quiet, subtle, and powerful. Sometimes correction cannot undo purpose. Sometimes guidance cannot replace choice. Sometimes the act of continuing is proof enough. He moves, not in defiance, not in rebellion, but because he has already chosen. And that choice cannot be taken away. Grinding alone. The colony fades behind him. Step by step, the sounds diminish. The movement thins until only the vast, indifferent ice remains. The horizon stretches endlessly, white and unbroken. Wind whistles softly across the frozen surface. Footprints appear, then vanish, erased by snow before they can linger. No path is left. No audience observes. No reward is promised. This is what grinding alone looks like. Not dramatic, not heroic, just motion, pure, unadorned, necessary. Step, shift, balance, breath, repeat, step, shift, balance, breath, repeat. And in that repetition, there is a rhythm, a quiet continuity, a discipline that exists beyond expectation, beyond reward, beyond recognition. No one cheers. No one corrects. No one measures progress. And yet, he does not stop. Hunger will eventually demand attention. The cold will eventually bite. Fatigue will eventually press. And still, he continues. Not because he is hopeful, not because he is defiant, not because he expects an outcome, but because stopping would require a decision. and that decision has already been passed. There is a lesson here, though subtle. Persistence does not always announce itself. Effort does not always manifest in achievement. The world does not always acknowledge movement. And yet the act itself is meaningful. Motion itself becomes proof of life, evidence of existence, assertion without argument. He walks. The ice does not respond. The wind does not guide. The horizon does not bend to meet him. Nothing changes, and yet everything changes with each step. Step after step, balance after balance, shift after shift, continuation becomes both purpose and practice. This is the discipline that emerges in isolation, not fueled by praise, not stabilized by hope, not directed by expectation. It is adaptive, neutral, present, step, shift, breath, repeat. Motion continues because it is all that remains that can. And in this quiet, relentless progression, a truth is revealed. Sometimes the greatest strength exists not in spectacle, not in recognition, not in reward, but in the simple, unbroken act of moving forward when no one is watching, when no outcome is guaranteed, when nothing demands it but the self-sustaining rhythm of existence itself. The ice stretches, the wind continues, and still, he walks. Adaptive motivation. The mountains ahead remain distant, almost ghostly against the horizon. At this scale, distance loses meaning. The idea of a destination becomes abstract, almost irrelevant. No creature can plan across thousands of kilometers. The future compresses into the present. Each movement, each breath, each adjustment becomes all that matters. And in the present, motivation transforms. It no longer depends on hope. It no longer relies on desire. There is no vision of reward pulling him forward. No imagined outcome shaping effort. Motivation becomes adaptive. It is sustained by rhythm, stabilized by repetition, carried by momentum itself. He does not move because he believes he will survive. Survival is no longer a distant goal. It is recalculated with every sway of his body, with every lift of his feet. He does not walk because he expects something better to await him in the mountains. There is no promise, no sign, no reassurance. There is only motion. Each forward movement is deliberate. Each shift of weight a tiny act of discipline. The ice does not guide him. The wind does not urge him. Nothing external demands action. And yet he continues, foot after foot, conscious only of maintaining balance, of preserving the rhythm of his own persistence. From the outside, it may look irrational, obsessive, pointless, but inwardly it is simple efficiency. Motion costs less than recalibration. Forward movement is easier than reconsideration. Momentum carries him. Continuation sustains him. Every stride flows into the next without hesitation, without deliberation, without need for confirmation. And in this quiet, relentless motion, a profound truth emerges. Persistence does not require reward. Effort does not need an audience. Action does not demand validation. Adaptive motivation exists entirely in the present, independent of outcome, independent of survival, independent of hope. It is proof of life in its purest form. His path stretches endlessly, white and unbroken. Footfalls leave temporary marks, erased by wind and snow, but they do not diminish the act itself. Each lift of the foot, each measured placement, each step into the unknown becomes a meditation on endurance. It is movement without narrative, action without explanation, progress defined by continuity itself. He moves not towards something, not away from something, not for survival, not for recognition. He moves because motion has become the natural state of his being. And in that movement, he has discovered the quiet, unshakable core of persistence. Certain death, continued motion. The path ahead offers nothing but exposure. No food, no shelter, no warmth. Every step increases risk. Probability favors failure. Survival is unlikely. And yet, he moves. There is no hesitation, No faltering, no glance backward, no hope that the landscape will yield mercy. Each footfall presses into the ice, leaves a mark, and is erased almost immediately by wind and snow. The ground remembers nothing, and still he does not pause. This is persistence stripped to its essence, not heroic, not dramatic, not defiant. Motion continues because it is necessary, not because it is rewarded, not because it is recognized, but because to stop would demand a decision, and that choice has already been made. Each step carries its own quiet weight. The ice bites, the wind pushes, the horizon stretches, unchanging, indifferent. Yet he adjusts without thought, lifts one foot, then the other, maintains balance, shifts weight, keeps moving forward. It is movement without narrative, effort without audience, progress without confirmation, and yet it is meaningful. From the outside, it may look like futility, recklessness, madness, but inwardly, it is efficiency. Continuation costs less than recalibration. Motion itself has become the purpose. Action has become the measure of existence. No praise, no survival, no reward, only movement. Even as exhaustion presses, even as cold bites deeper, even as the mountains barely seem closer, he persists. His body follows the path his mind has already chosen. Each step flows into the next. Balance is maintained. Momentum carries him. And in this rhythm, persistence becomes proof. Proof that life continues, even when outcome is uncertain, even when reward is absent, even when survival is unlikely. The wind erases every footprint. The ice swallows every trace. But the act itself remains. Continuation persists. The choice endures. Life, in its most essential form, continues. Not because it is easy, not because it is expected, but because it is necessary. And in that necessity lies the quietest, most profound lesson of all. Never giving up does not always mean victory. Sometimes it is simply showing up, continuing, moving forward, even when the world offers nothing in return. He moves, and in moving, he proves that persistence exists independently of outcome, that effort can be its own reward, and that as long as motion continues, life, at its most essential, endures. Outro. As long as there is motion. Eventually, the distance becomes impossible to measure. The penguin's figure grows smaller against the endless white, until motion itself is difficult to distinguish from the movement of wind and drifting snow. There is no visible milestone, no sign that progress has been made or lost. The mountains remain distant, unchanged, their presence more symbolic than real. The ice does not react. It does not reward effort or punish persistence. It simply exists, vast, indifferent, and unmoved by intention. In this space, the idea of an ending loses relevance. There is no moment that announces completion, no signal that the choice has led somewhere meaningful. Only continuation, unfolding quietly without acknowledgement. This is where expectation usually demands resolution. We look for collapse, rescue, triumph, or failure. Something definitive enough to explain the effort retroactively. But none arrives. The environment offers no confirmation. The wind smooths the ice clean, erasing footprints as quickly as they are made. No path remains, no evidence accumulates, and yet the absence of proof does not erase the act itself. Persistence does not disappear simply because it leaves no mark. Sometimes meaning is not something the world reflects back. Sometimes it exists only in the act of continuing when nothing responds. The penguin does not know how the story ends. There is no awareness of outcome guiding his movement, no belief sustaining effort, no imagined future pulling him forward. Each adjustment of balance, each careful placement of weight, each breath taken against the cold exists only in the present moment. Life narrows to what is immediately required. Maintaining motion, maintaining balance, maintaining continuity. Not as a strategy, not as defiance, but as the simplest and most efficient way to exist within conditions that offer no alternatives. In that simplicity, persistence sheds all narrative. What remains is motion as a state of being. uninterrupted and unquestioned. The ice stretches on. The horizon remains distant. The wind moves without intention, and within that indifference, motion continues. Not to arrive somewhere, not to prove anything, not to win, but because continuation itself has become the expression of life. As long as movement persists, quitting has not occurred. As long as balance is maintained, existence asserts itself, quietly, without ceremony, without guarantee. The footprints vanish, the world forgets, but the act remains complete in every moment it occurs. And in that unbroken motion, life continues in its most essential form.